Yes.
Sorry, but something about the enhanced ER
Yes,
in
please.
general.
Yes, sir. Yes.
I mean, like for example, in our project we did regular ER
Oh, yeah.
and
Yeah,
everything
because
was okay,
we didn't take
right?
AR at that time. Yes.
Yes. So I mean, do companies or do they use enhanced or ER is enough for every situation? I mean,
Well,
regular.
I have been working for 10 years in companies before I came to university. I have never seen ER, to tell you frankly. Most of the people, ER, I mean, most of the people use ER. Okay?
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. But don't forget, يعني, my generation, software engineering was not that يعني, object oriented. It was not that يعني, this was before 20 years. I was working in companies before I came to KFPM. Okay. Nowadays, the object oriented design has been very popular, and a lot of new generation graduated from object oriented. When I was a student in KFPM, there was no software engineering يعني, at that time. Okay, there was nothing called object oriented. Java, it came after we graduated. يعني. So the object-oriented thing was new at that time. So when I went to work, in my generation, there was no idea about subclasses and superclasses والحاجات دي يعني, okay? Nowadays, I have never been to any company, but I'm sure they are using them يعني, okay? But to tell you frankly, ER can do anything that ER can do for you also. The only thing is you are going to lack some descriptions يعني, okay?
Okay. Yes, that was my question. Yes.
Sorry?
So it will do anything. Yeah. That
Oh yeah,
ER.
definitely. I'm sure, maybe if you go nowadays, يعني a lot of people maybe still they are still يعني using ER, maybe 80% of them up to now people are using ER probably, but I'm sure you will find some people who are using ER also. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, so now you خلاص you by now خلاص you are experts في ER diagram. ما عليكم you practice more. When you go to work in companies, you will not see more than this. What you know is what they know. Okay, شباب? But the only thing is, whatever this knowledge that you have to practice and make them better and better. But there is no more information about ER diagrams and so on. That's all. Okay, so you are good as anyone in the industry now. Okay, I know because I told you I was working for 10 years, yeah, so I have also commercial experience a little bit, yeah. Anyhow, coming back now to the next language now. I'm going to teach you, mashallah, this semester, you know how many languages I'm going to teach you. I already taught you SQL, sahih? Now I'm going to teach you another language called Relational Algebra. Today, I will start that one. After that one, I'm going to teach you another language called Relational Calculus. They are very simple relations because they look like SQL, all of them, yani. So let's start with a new topic. And this new topic is called Relational Algebra. Okay, this is chapter 8 in your textbook. So the whole chapter is, all the sections are included, yani. So I have 107 slides. Don't worry, they are very short and very fast. We'll go through 2 days, we'll finish everything. It's not that difficult. If you know SQL, you already know relational algebra, صحيح? But what do we do? Instead of writing select, we are going to use some symbols. يعني. But why do we need to study relational algebra? You will not يعني, use it for your project, definitely. يعني. But why the reason we are teaching relational algebra is for those of you who are going to go through masters and PhD, you might need this one, relational algebra, especially if you are going to do your research in what they call in database. يعني. And of course, I'm going to bring some questions, quizzes, exams, so you should know it also. Don't forget it. So this is another reason to motivate you. يعني. So relational algebra, it is a language. Okay. Now let me tell you a little bit about the advantage of relational algebra. Quickly, يعني. This is just one advantage. Now, when you write an SQL statement, your SQL statement goes to the RDBMS, to the database management system, isn't it, Shabab? You remember DBMS ولا نسيتوا? Hopefully you still. Okay, you're going to use it خلاص الحين in phase number 3, DBMS. Then you will get an output. For example, I will write a select statement and then the DBMS will give me the output. I think we now, but what happens inside the DBMS? What happens to my SQL? This is what will happen to your SQL, Shabab. Okay, let me explain for you in a new. So what will happen is the following. Your SQL statement, it will go to the DBMS. Let me say this is a DBMS. Had a DBMS. So as soon as it goes into the DBMS, what it will do is it will divide it into relational algebras. So this is done internally. All these select statements that you wrote, this will happen to it. Not only one relational algebra, but many relational algebra operators. Okay, I will talk about the relational algebra operators shortly. Let me call this relational algebra number relational algebra number 1, number 2, and relational algebra number 3. Now, each relational algebra, it is implemented using C language. So in fact, each one of them can be implemented in so many different C implementations. What do I mean by C implementation? For example, let's take sorting algorithm. How many different implementations of sort do you know in ICS202 يا شباب؟ ولا ICS201 ما أدري. Like bubble sort.
5.
Quick,
bubble sort, yeah.
Yeah, quick sort, heap sort, and so on. صحيح?
Yes.
So for sorting, we can use different implementations. So we can implement it in a different way. Some will implement it heap way, some will use quick sort, and so on. Now the same thing with relational algebra. If you look at relational algebra number 1, for example, it might be implemented in many C implementations. All of them are C language, but let me say maybe this is C11, which is totally different implementation than C12, which is another way of implement it, and maybe C13. The same thing with this relational algebra. It can be implemented in C21, maybe in C22, in C23, C24, C25, we don't know. So C22, let's say, and C2. Maybe there are many implementations for A2 more than A1, probably. Let me just put them 3. Let's say I have only 2 implementations for this. So this is 3.1, and this is 3.2. So let me repeat what I said, Shabab. So you wrote a SQL statement. So this is the DBMS. What it's doing is simply taking your SQL. First of all, it will convert it into relational algebras. I will show you today how this is done, inshallah. But each relational algebra, then it is what? It has different implementations. And all these implementations are inside the DBMS. They are all part of the DBMS. Now, the DBMS is very smart. What it will do is after that one, okay, for this one, I may use this one. Because he has to use one of them. There is no need. You will get the same output whether you use this one or this one. So he will choose the best one, the fastest one. For this one, maybe he'll say this is the best, this is the fastest. So I will choose this one. Then for this one, he'll say, oh, maybe I will use this one. So all these decisions are done by who? By the DBMS. You don't even know it. Then it will take these 3, it will combine them as one program, and it will run them. And you will get your what? You will get your output. So it will combine this in some order with these 3. Okay, and it will run them as one program, and then this is going to be your output. So today I'm going to teach you relational algebras, these 3 and more. So this is what I'm going to do. So do you have any question where the relational algebra is used in SQL statement, ya shabab? Okay. So if you keep silent, I would think you are okay. Okay. Now,
It's clear.
Okay, it's clear. Thank you very much. لما أنا كنت طالب دوخني هذا أشياء كان يأخذ مني سرعة عن وقت طويل. I don't know why. Just say فهمنا كده. I don't know. Anyhow, we'll assume فهمت. Let's take relational algebra. These are the relational algebra operators. انسى الكلام الكثير اللي نفوته الحين. I'm taking directly to slide number 5. Okay, you can read the history and so on about it, but it doesn't matter. Now, in relational algebra like SQL, I have a select statement. I have a project statement. I have rename, just like SQL. I have union. I have difference. It's a language, shabab, relational algebra. I have intersection, division, assignment, Cartesian product, equijoin, natural join, left outer join, right outer join, full outer join, and aggregate functions. So whatever in SQL, I have it also in what? In relational algebra. Is that point clear, Shabab? But how do we write them? We don't write select. We use these symbols instead. So this means select, Shabab. This means project. So instead of writing select project, we just use these symbols. يعني. So relational algebra looks like mathematics, يعني mathematical symbols. يعني. Why do they do that one? Because master and PhD students, they use a lot of mathematics يعني, to interpret whatever you do. You have to prove it and so on and so on. So what we do, you have to, and they use this short notations. So instead of writing select, they would just write this one and so on. يعني. So these are the symbols we are going to use in this chapter. These are all the symbols. You don't have anything left. يعني. Okay. Then I will show you, inshallah, after that, how this SQL that you write, how it can be converted into this one. معناتها it will be converted, the SQL that you wrote, it will be converted either to what? Let me get rid of this. No. The SQL that you wrote, it will be converted maybe to this one, maybe to this one, maybe to this one. So R1, maybe this one, RA2, maybe this one, RA3, maybe this one, and so on. And we'll talk about this one after. Any question, Shawab? So what I will do is to teach you this language, I will just use the same technique I used when I was teaching SQL. So I will use examples. So let's start with the first one and so on. Now, the first one, select statement. This is how it looks like. Select from the employee table. So you put the table in a bracket and you put the condition here. Now this one is equivalent to what? Equivalent to select star. I'm just giving the SQL الحين يا شباب. From which table يا شباب? Tell me.
Employee.
From the employee table. Exactly. Where what? Where name equals to what?
Ali.
So this is a where condition. معي ولا ايه؟
Yes.
So this is a from condition. So this is a select statement. اختصار زين يا شباب مش قصيرة حلوة كده؟
إلا.
Very good. So yeah. So this is how.
How about the star?
Can you give me a minute? Can you just wait a little bit? معلش شوية. I have to do something.
Okay.
Thank you. Sorry, Shabab. Okay. Can you tell me your question again? Sorry.
Yeah, I said, what about the star?
Okay, very good. Now, this select statement, ya Shabab, it's not like exactly like select statement for SQL. In fact, this select statement is like select like where clause يا هذه. فهمت علي؟
So
But I will come to هذيك إن شاء الله هذيك يسموها project حتكلم عنها بعد شوية.
Okay.
Okay, so I will come to the point. I know your point. So this is like a where clause, يعني where name equals to Ali from the employee table. So the answer is all the columns. There is no filtering of columns. So this is filtering of rows. So the select statement in relational algebra is like filtering of what? Of rows. معي ولا إيه? So this simply means select all the columns, but the name must be what? Ali from the employee table. Okay? Let me give you more example. So this will be your output. So this is the employee table input. When you apply this relational operator, this is what you will get. Another example here. Okay? Select the rows in which name equals to Ali. سميها select the row. سميها select the row. Okay? Select the rows where from the employee table where name is Ali and the age is how much? Greater than how much? 23. So which one do you think will be selected from these rows? So سميها select rows. Okay? Which one is up? Or select tuples?
Ali in the end.
Ali.
The last row.
Very good. One thing that I forgot to tell you. In the relational algebra, there is nothing called duplicate. ما في حاجة اسمها duplicate. We are dealing now with relations, not with tables anymore. So in SQL, we deal with what? With tables.
Tables.
Relational algebra, it is purely what? Relations, okay? Relations. So this one, what do you think it will give the output? قلت لي معلش, which row? Row number كم?
The last one.
The last one. Exactly. So that's what you will get. That's good. It's a very easy language. Very easy language. You will like it. let's go to the second one, projection. What about, I don't want to see all the columns. I just want to see what? Only particular column. You can't say that, this one. So you have to
like distinct?
Huh?
Like distinct?
Like, yeah, or no, like select this column and this column. This is column selection.
Okay.
So how do we column selection? For column selection, you have to use this. This is called projection. نسميها ايش؟ نسميها projection. So this is a projection operator. Let me give an example. Let's take for example here. Project or select column name and select column salary. معناتها project the name and the salary from the employee table. So he's only interested on this column, on what? And what? And on this column فقط. That's it. But if there are any duplicates for the output, he must get rid of them. Tell me, what do you think the output will be on this one? How many rows and how many columns?
2 columns.
2 columns.
Two
The
columns,
first column
yes.
is name, the second
Zero.
column is what? Huh? Salary, صحيح?
Yes.
But
Yes.
how many rows?
2 columns, 2 rows.
4?
3.
4.
3.
3 or 4?
4, because there is another.
3 because they are duplicate.
Very good. It is 3 because there is one of them is duplicate. صحيح? For example, the output table will contain only 2 columns, but we don't want to duplicate rows for the output table. صحيح? Ali 7,000. Ali 7,000. So this is duplicate يعتبر في output. So what you will get is this. So Ali 7,000 will be removed. Any question يا شباب؟ طبعا I'm
No.
showing you selection لحاله, projection لحاله. You can combine them. فهمت علي؟ And then it will be much more powerful يعني. But I'm going to show you separately inshallah, and then I'll combine for you also an example. Don't worry. So any question here? So to choose a particular column, you have to use this symbol, the pi. It looks like a pi symbol, but it is a projection. This is what we call projection. More examples. Rename. Now what I want to do is I want to rename the table employee. I don't want to call it employee. I did a mistake. I want to call it what? Student. So this is as if you are renaming this table instead of employee, but what? But it's called what? It's going to be called student. But the original table will not change, Shabab. It's only the output, man. So the output will be called what? The student. So if you have steps in your program, a number of code, and the code of relational algebra can be more than one. This is just one, and they can follow other codes. Then from that point on, you can use the student, and so to refer to the output table. So this is what you will get. So it's the same table, but I'm going to call it what? I'm going to call it student instead of what? Instead of EMP. So you can change the name of the output table. If you don't change the name of the output table, it will just be the same as the input table. They will have the same name.
I think it's the same as using as in SQL.
Exactly. Very good. Yes, in fact, you are right. This is as if you are using as for SQL. Yes, I agree with you, definitely. Good point. Yes. What about if I want to change the column names? This is what you do. You have to put them in bracket. So if you just don't put anything in bracket, this is no bracket here, it means what? This is a table change, table name change. But if you want to change the column names, then you have to put them in a bracket. So this is a table change, Shabab. It's outside the bracket, but this one is for each column now. I have 4 columns, so the first column is going to be called EID, E name, E age, and E salary. This is a new table, it's called S. This is outside the bracket. Those who are inside the bracket, they will be changed into a different. So instead of ID, I will have EID, instead of name, E name, and so on. So the same order, but the only thing is the names will change. What about if I don't want to change a particular column? For example, I don't want to change the age. I want to keep it age. I don't want to call it EH. Just remove this E and write age again, so it will be age. But you have tried all the 4. So those who want to change them. Those who don't want to change, keep them.
And if I don't want to change the name of that table?
Of the table, just don't put the bracket. Don't put this at all. Just start from the bracket.
Okay.
Okay, very good question. Any question, Shabab? Any question here? So relational algebra is very easy. Inshallah, you will like it. Now let's start into what? into set operators like union and intersection and difference and so on. Let's assume I have these two tables and I want to make a union between the two of them. This is a union operator, just like what we did in SQL. Now, when you do union between two relations, طبعا هنا we don't have to say tables, بس أنا تعودت دائما أقول table يعني, but I'm supposed to say relations معلش. So between relation EP1 and relation EP2, make sure that these two relations have the same number of columns. How many columns do I have here, Shabab?
3.
3. What about this one?
Also 3.
There must be 3. Very good. What about this first column? Is ID, the second column is, this is also ID, name, age. So they must match in 3 things. First of all, the same number, the same name, the same order of the columns also. Huh?
Same order, yes.
Same order, yes. So when this is, then you can use what? You can use this operator. Otherwise, you cannot. So what do? You have to play first. Maybe you have to rename things. Maybe you have to do that. So to make sure that this employee 1 is compatible with employee 2. So to have some union compatible. So you have to make them union compatible first. So for example, if this was not name, so it was something else, and this is name. So you have to change the column names the way I showed you before here. So you have to use this technique. Then you can do the union. Okay? So maybe you have to do more steps before you start doing the union على طول يعني. Tell me what is the output of this? How many columns and how many rows?
3 columns and
3 columns. Very good.
Yeah. And 2 rows, I think.
Very good. Do we have some duplicate rows? نشوف كده. عادل I think is duplicate, صحيح?
Yeah.
Yes, عادل is duplicate.
عادل
is duplicate.
Ali is also duplicate, صحيح?
Yeah. So the total is 4.
معناته I will have only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
6.
So there will be 6 columns. 6 rows. Sorry. So duplicates will be removed. So we'll keep only 1. Okay. So duplicates are removed. Also, we only keep 1 copy from the duplicates. Yeah. Even if you have 100 duplicates, we'll just keep 1. This is a difference. So make sure that they are compatible. Are they compatible, this two, Shabab? Are they compatible? Set compatible.
Yes.
Are they? Yes. Now,
Yes.
tell me what is the output employee 1 minus employee 2. زي ما عملنا في السكيل. What do you get? When I subtract here, this from this, what do you get?
Sami and Ali only.
Very good. Excellent. What are the rows which are here but not here? Is Sami? No. So Sami will appear in the output. What about Ali? Do I have him here? No. That's fine. What about Adil? Do I have Adil here?
Yes.
ما ينفعش Adil. What about Ali? Do I have him here?
Yes.
So in this case, my output will be only this. A quick question. What about employee 2 minus employee 1?
We get Umar and Saad.
Exactly.
Yes.
I will get Umar and Saad. What about intersection?
It will be Adil and Ali.
Exactly. What are common between the two? So?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to stop here. Okay, and we'll continue inshallah. شفتوا وصلنا already 29 slides. يعني it is very easy language هذه. And many of my previous students, they don't face any problems with this one. And it's a quite easy language. Okay, so any questions before I let you go? We still have 3 minutes. We can ask questions. I don't want to go. What is the next one?
I have a question regarding the project.
Division takes time. شفتوا لما تيجي division هذه, I want you to drink nice coffee and come, because division is really يعني, this is the only difficult one. Not difficult really, يعني, but it needs a fresh brain. Okay. Sorry, you have a question? You have a question?
Saud had one.
I have one regarding the project.
Okay, sure.
Yeah. In this phase, we are required to create tables and insert information only, right?
In relational algebra?
No, in this phase.
No, in phase 2.
Phase 2.
In phase 2. Oh yeah, phase 2 of the project. Sorry, all right. In phase 2, it is very simple. It will not take more than 1 hour. Yeah, Shabab. All you have to do is Maybe you have to what? In fact, I'm going to talk about it in the lab today, this week. حيكون كله على project what you have to do. So I will answer those questions. Don't worry, inshallah. Okay? But you are right.
Okay.
يعني, all you have to do is just create tables. يعني. But I will talk about it in detail, inshallah, في lab. Don't worry.
Okay, thank you, Doctor.
Very good. Let me just quickly take you here, معلش. Quickly, just 1 minute, نستفيد منها.
Okay.
Now, if I write a select statement, يا شباب, select, let's say, name from the employee table, معايا ولا ايه؟ where ID, where SSN equals to what? Equals to 111 مثلا يعني. How many relational operators do I need for this?
1.
One. We need one.
Do I need this?
Yes.
Yes, we need this.
Or this? Do I need this?
You need two.
You need two.
Both.
صحيح? So I need this filter the rows, which is only SSN equals 111. صحيح?
Okay.
Also, I need this to what? To filter only name project. صحيح?
The table. Yes.
Oh.
Yes. Okay, so that's what I mean. So SQL statement can give you many relational operators. كلهم تكون في البداية. That's what I mean by that. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. Is this clear, شباب?
It's clear, but we need to read it.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
It takes time. Definitely. Yeah.
It takes time.
Okay, so thank you very much for attending this class. And if you have any question, I have office hours today. Now, those of you who have your own project, I like to talk to you today, please. So I will stay from 12:30 until 2 o'clock. I will be in my office hours. I want you to come and discuss with me, Yani, because I like to discuss with you your project, because in the lab, I can discuss with you also in the lab, but I thought in the lab, I will discuss mainly the common project, okay? Thank you very much. Yes, you have a question?
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Yeah, for the teams that they have their own project.
If you have your own, yeah.
We just come in any time at the office hour.
Today, yes, just come anytime to the office hours. But I want you to all of you to be in the office hours so that we can discuss your AR diagram. Okay?
Inshallah.
I prefer. It's not a must, but I prefer if all of you.
Not that, but
Huh?
we want to start with the two. I mean.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much. I think we are done with the class. If you don't have any question, you can go if you don't. If you have other things to do.
Thank you, sir.
My pleasure. Thank you very much.